Hopefully you've had access to see the golf ball flight diagram, which looks quite confusing, but hopefully my understanding of this is going to be passed over to your understanding of this and you can make a bit more sense of it. Normally that flight diagram is a golfer standing here with a flag out in the distance, an array of lines going out away from the golfer, some straight, some curving, some going out into the trees, some curving back towards the target. And that diagram should highlight all the different ball flights that as golfers we have available to us, either deliberately or accidentally. Now to start with, let's consider what the good ball flights would be. The good ball flight is going to be straight. That would be a line from me straight to target. A draw for the right-handed golfer, I must profess this is all right-handed. A draw would be a line that shoots slightly to the right of target, but then comes back to target. And a fade would be a line that goes down the left-hand side and comes back to the target. So draws and fades are generally intentional and generally finish on their target. You cannot fade a ball into a house or draw a ball into a pond. That would be a hook or a slice. So a fade and a draw, generally good shots that come back to target and finish on their target line. We've then got a block and a pull. So a block is a line that starts straight to the right and stays straight to the right, and a pull starts straight to the left and stays straight to the left for the right-handed golfer. Now a block and a pull are quite closely related to each other because that means that the path and the face are the same as each other. If there was a difference between the path and the face, then the ball would be curving. If you don't understand that, go and watch the previous video that talked about the new ball flight laws. But if you understand the path and the face are different to each other, the ball curves and the path and the face are the same as each other, generally the ball flies straight. A block is a path from the inside with a face to the right and the ball just stays there. And a pull is a club coming from the outside with the club face closed and it pulls down the left-hand side. So you could call that a pull and a push. You've then got a push slice, which is a path to the right and a face that's even more open. That's not a pretty looking shot. It's going to finish somewhere down that right hand side over a hedge or a house. And then we've got a pull hook, which is a club from the outside and the club face closed, and that's going to go left and turn even further left. Again, not a pretty shot. A pull hook and a push slice are not pretty at all. We've then got hooks and slices, which are quite common shots that lots of golfers are familiar with. A golfer standing straight on the target, maybe with a driver, looking at a fairway, sets the ball off down the left-hand side of the fairway for the right-handed golfer, and the ball swings over to the right-hand side and ends up in the right-hand trees. That's a slice. That's a pretty ugly looking shot, and a golfer might intend to aim further left, swing further left, the ball curves even further. And that slice happens because you're swinging from out to in and your club face is open to that path. And that starts to really send the ball out with a lot of curve. And the opposite version of that is the hook, a golfer who swings to the right-hand side too much with the club face too far left, and that puts too much spin on the ball. So you should notice here that generally those shots are sort of paired up. We've got the straight one, that's on its own, and then we've got the draw and the fade. They're a pair. They both finish on target. They both shape quite nicely, slightly from the right, slightly from the left to the target. We've then got the push and the pull. One goes straight right, one goes straight left. We've then got the push slice, which is to the right and slicing. We've then got the pull hook, which is left and hooking. And then we've got the slice and the hook that go not onto the target line, but they don't go necessarily too far out of bounds like the push and the pull. So hopefully with a good understanding of that and a good look at the ball flight diagram, you can better understand what your shots should be called and also what they might be caused by.